So, the holiday season is upon us. It's meant to be all about joy, love, and connection, right? But let's be honest. For a lot of us, it also brings this tidal wave of stress and anxiety. So today, we're going to unpack the psychology behind this holiday paradox and really get to the bottom of why that is. I mean, you hear it everywhere, right? The most wonderful time of the year. But is it? Always? That pressure, the sheer pressure for it to be the most wonderful time, can actually be the very thing that makes it so tough. So what is really going on inside our heads during all this festive chaos? And this slide, wow, it just perfectly sums up that central conflict, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got all the good stuff, joy, love, connection, everything we're supposed to cherish about this season. But then, on the other hand, you've got this undercurrent of stress, anxiety, even conflict. The thing is, these two feelings, they exist side by side for almost everyone. And you know what? Just admitting that, that's a huge first step. All right, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to explore this paradox head on. Then we'll dive deep into the psychology of why we even celebrate the way we do. After that, we'll pinpoint that exact moment, the tipping point where joy turns into stress. And don't worry, we'll wrap it all up with a super practical holiday survival guide to help you get through it all. Okay, so let's get into it. The big takeaway here is that feeling both of these things, the happiness and the pressure, is totally 100% normal. Think of them as two sides of the same shiny holiday coin. Now let's explore the hidden forces that are creating all this tension in the first place. All right, let's really get into the psychology of all this. What are these hidden forces that are pushing us to shop and give and gather the way we do? Because, as you're about to see, there is a lot going on in our brains just beneath all the tinsel and wrapping paper. Believe it or not, it all kicks off with a simple chemical reaction in your brain. Every single time you find that perfect gift or you snag an amazing deal, your brain releases a little shot of dopamine. That's the pleasure neurotransmitter. It creates what they call a buyer's high, this awesome but temporary thrill that makes you want to do it all over again. And guess who knows all about this? Retailers. Oh yeah, they have basically perfected the art of amplifying that little dopamine hit. Their marketing tactics, they're not just about showing you pretty products. Nope. They are specifically designed to overwhelm your rational brain and push you towards those impulsive, feel-good purchases. And what's fascinating is just how specific these tactics are. You've got the special offers and all that festive packaging, right? That's what draws you in. Then there's that sense of scarcity. The whole limited time only deal that creates this frantic urgency. And then there's the sensory overload of a busy store. The Christmas music, the smells, the crowds, all of that can literally short-circuit the logical part of your brain, making you buy things you normally wouldn't even look at twice. But hey, it's not all about shopping and consumerism, right? A massive part of the holiday joy comes from something called altruism, that genuine pleasure we get from helping people and giving gifts. It's true. Psychologists have actually found that spending money on people we care about can make us happier than spending that same money on ourselves. And then there's this thing called reciprocity. This is basically the unwritten social contract of giving gifts. You know the feeling, right? A coworker gives you a surprise gift and your first thought is, oh no, I need to get them something back. It's not just about feeling obligated, it's actually a super fundamental way that we strengthen our relationships with each other. And we can't forget the powerful pull of the past. I'm talking about nostalgia. Thinking back to those childhood Christmases, that can be a huge source of comfort and security, right? And those family rituals, whether it's decorating the tree together or making that one special dish, they give us this incredible sense of meaning and belonging. Okay, so we've got all these really powerful psychological forces at play. Dopamine, giving, tradition, the whole deal. But there's a tipping point. There's a moment when all these good things can actually combine and push us right over the edge, from happy celebration into just pure overload and stress. And where does it usually start? Right here, with this immense, and I mean immense, pressure for everything to be perfect. The perfect tree, the perfect dinner, the perfect family photo for social media. This ideal is just relentless, and honestly, it's setting us up to fail. So this pressure for perfection, it fuels some seriously unrealistic expectations. We start to imagine this fantasy holiday where everyone gets along, everything is peaceful, and all our real-life problems just vanish. But of course, that's not how life works, is it? So when reality, with its messy family dynamics and burnt cookies, crashes into our fantasy, the result is almost always disappointment. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, social media. It has basically thrown gasoline on this fire. We're all just scrolling through these perfectly curated highlight reels of everybody else's amazing holiday. And what does that do? It just cranks up our fear of missing out, FOMO. It becomes this nonstop comparison game that can leave you feeling totally inadequate and super self-critical. And here's the thing, this has a real-world impact. This holiday pressure cooker can seriously lead to more stress, more anxiety, even depression. And for people who already feel a bit lonely or who have tricky family situations, this time of year can make those feelings of isolation and conflict feel 10 times worse. Okay, so we've pretty much diagnosed the problem, right? Now let's talk about the solution. It's time for our holiday survival guide. We're talking actionable strategies you can actually use to manage all that pressure and, reclaim the actual joy of the season. First things first, it all starts with your mindset. Before you even begin, just stop and ask yourself, what makes the holiday season special? For you, not for anyone else. Focus on that. Number 2, you have to consciously step away from the perfectionist trap. Seriously, things do not have to be perfect to be wonderful. And third, when things inevitably go wrong, and they will, try to find the humor in it. I promise, someday it'll make a great story. Okay, next up, practical actions. These are things you can actually do. For starters, try to stick to your normal routine as much as you can. We're talking sleep, exercise, the basics. It'll keep you grounded. Then take a hard look at your family traditions and ask, hey, can we simplify any of this? And this one is huge. Set boundaries. If the dinner table isn't the right place for a tense family discussion, it is perfectly okay to say, let's talk about this later. And now for what might just be the most important strategy of all. In a season that is all about giving, 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 it is so easy to forget that one of the best gifts you can possibly give is to yourself. I'm talking about self-care. And listen, this is not an indulgence, it is an absolute necessity. And this right here is a really crucial mental shift we all need to make. So many of us have been taught to feel like taking time for ourselves is selfish, especially around the holidays. But that is such an unhelpful and honestly just a wrong label. Self-care is not selfish. It is essential maintenance for your well-being, period. So what does self-care even look like? Well, it can be super simple stuff. It's making sure you get enough sleep. It's taking a 20-minute walk just to clear your head. It's putting on your favorite music. And maybe the most powerful one of all, it's giving yourself permission to say no to an invitation when you're just feeling totally overwhelmed. So I want to leave you with this one final thought. We spend so much time, so much energy chasing this idealized, commercialized idea of a perfect holiday. But what if we just let all of that go? What if the truly perfect holiday isn't the one you see on social media, but the one that's a little messy, a little imperfect, totally authentic, and completely beautifully yours?